Patrick Bet David Valuetainment. David Packman and Sam Cedar went on recently. 4 million subs. That's a lot of subs. Oh yeah, there's Sam Cedar. Yeah, I'd like to go on. I mean, if I get messaged, I guess. I have to email first, don't I? I hate that. Man, and I have to fly out. Dude, what is with this fucking trend right now of everyone doing this stupid podcast setup where they have the mics under their faces? I hate this. We developed the technology to talk over the computer instantly, and you're going to make me shell out thousands of dollars for travel and accommodations, or you'll pay for it. It's a work expense, write it off. I fucking hate flying. I hate flying so fucking much, man. With respect, somebody in your profession should enjoy travel, lol. Why? I'm a live streamer. This is literally the least grass-touching profession on earth. This is the most I'm not leaving my desk profession on earth. Why would I like, oh yeah, dude, instead of having a call that lasts 2 hours, instead, why don't you book out 3 days for travel so you can, why? So they can keep their cutesy fucking podcast days? Oh my God. Why are you so lazy? It's not a laziness thing, man. Travel makes me fucking queasy. It makes me sick. I feel like depressive the entire week after I fucking hate travel. I've always hated travel. I've always been like that. And then I get into fucking live streaming and it's like, woo, okay, finally I can do it. Most jobs don't require you to travel, you know. I'm not like a business consultant. Why? Literally autism. Doing stuff in the world makes you depressed? Are you fucking retarded? You're not doing stuff in the world. You're taking, rather than having a 2-hour call on your computer, you're taking 3 or 2 days to travel. That means going to the airport really early. That means dealing with the airline. That means getting on the plane, getting off, everything, travel, sick, potential for COVID. I now have to sleep in a different bed. I now have to eat different food that I like eating. And like, you guys do actually know I'm autistic, right? You realize that's an actual thing and not just you realize the fact that I can talk well to an audience right now doesn't change the fact that the autism's a real thing and not a meme diagnosis, right? And then I have to use entirely different accommodations to drive over to some compound where a bunch of people will fucking watch over me as I have a conversation that is exactly the same content-wise as it would have been if I'd done it online. And then I have to go back, and that means that I lose out in stream time, and it means that I'm not comfortable the entire time. It's like, it's so unnecessary, and it's also they can keep their stupid podcast mic aesthetic. And this is, by the way, this has only been coming back up in the past like year and a half. Apart from Tim Pool, I remember a couple of years ago, everybody just had online appointments. And it wasn't just COVID. Even before March 2020 or whatever, people would just call in because it's normal. Like, that's what you do. Not to mention, man, like I'm going to perform way worse in a conversation if I have to fly over there because I'm like uncomfortable the entire time beforehand. I feel like Vosh is just arguing with kids who think flying and traveling is cool and don't understand the mental/physical tax it takes. Yeah, like traveling for vacation or to see my family is fine because I'm going to see my family. Not like, oh, now let's like upend a day and a half of like discomfort and frustration and expenditures to both ends of a 2-hour talk. People assume you'd like it because you can afford first class. I don't take first class. Are you crazy? I don't know, you're kind of exaggerating. I mean, I'm talking about like my mental state. So, I mean, I can't be exaggerating. Based business class, I fly economy. I take the cheapest seats that I can. Is there a place you'd be happy to go? I like traveling if it's for vacation. I don't like traveling if it's an unnecessary set of bookends around a conversation I could just have over my computer. Autism affects people differently. What in particular about flying makes it difficult for you? Man, I guess I just kind of assumed a lot of this would be intuitive to you guys. I didn't realize that I didn't realize flying was so much fun for everyone. I didn't consider the fact that it interferes with streaming. That actually is a big difference between you and a media talking head who jumps between news networks. I mean, yeah, I'm a streamer. My computer's here. It's literally like, it's like this meeting could have been an email, but 20 times worse. Vosh had no idea that autism did that to you. Always thought you were just lazy. You should have said this back when people were like, Vosh, will you can? Why the Okay. Okay. First of all, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I will never have to justify how I spend my time to any of you. If I don't want to stream, I just don't stream. If I get a fucking grinder date and I want to go plow somebody's ass instead of streaming, I will. I don't give a shit. I'll miss appointments. I'll not take opportunities. And the reason for that is because the one thing this job offers me in terms of like benefit over all the shit that I have to deal with is freedom. That's the main thing you get as a live streamer. It's why I'm doing this. You know, I have a degree in sociology. I am certainly at this point well connected. I could be doing other things. I could be working with NGOs, or I could be doing some kind of more behind the scenes legitimate political stuff. But I think I can do the most good here. I know I can because I reach a ridiculous number of people through this. If every live streamer were to be held to account for the like optimization of their time, based on people's perceptions of what they're doing from the outside, of like, well, why haven't you streamed this day? You don't know what's going on. You know, I try my best. But the idea of like, bro, why don't you just take time to describe, you, a openly autistic person, why it might be annoying to take 3 days to travel and spend time in unfamiliar accommodations for a conversation you could have had effortlessly just like over the computer. Like, man, if you don't explain why that might be a bother, people would assume you're lazy. Then think I'm lazy. It's fine. I am lazy in a lot of ways, but I still do a lot of good. It's just, it's like, can I not vent about this completely aesthetics-driven, unnecessary trend of flying people out for something that could be done with no loss in content quality online without people going like, oh, man, dude, well, you know, when you signed up for live streaming 4 years ago, that means that you have to like magically overcome all of the specific quirks and eccentricities that give your character shape, and you have to just fit into the mold of like every other like, no, fuck you. Why would I do that? I would just get any other job if I wanted to like subject myself to that kind of shit. Like, well, yeah, I enjoy my work, specifically the live streaming part, not the fucking flying out part. Finding the terminal is hard too. No, that part's not that difficult. That's just you. that part's easy enough. God, I hate flying so much, man. The literal last time that I flew to visit my parents, I missed my flight for a reason that wasn't my own. I left the house at 4:45 a.m. Like, I don't have enough trouble sleeping. And Ubered over there. And then the security line that I was in ended up, through a change, only having one person processing people who didn't have the TSA Fast Pass. And I was in the security line for an hour and 25 minutes with a headache the entire time. And then when I finally got through, the flight had already, like, they just closed up like the bridge over to the plane, so I had to wait for the next one. Why do people like travel? I like being in other places. Who likes travel? Oh, wow, so Instagram, so vibes. I'm drinking a coffee at an airport. Who the f care? Airports suck, and everything there costs more. Travel suck. I hate travel so much. I don't even like driving places. This is why I like walkable cities so much. I don't want to get in a car, but like, you have to pretty much everywhere, so, you know, whatever. But I don't have to fly everywhere. Not normally. Taking the train is usually lovely. Trains are okay. Unironically, trains are fine. They have a lot more room on them than planes are. They're just a lot less inconvenient. You just board a train, you don't go through TSA. Travel is nice if you have friends with you, then it feels like an adventure. Yeah, that's the thing that makes travel special. It's the anticipation of knowing you're going to end up in someplace like cool or special. But when I travel for work, the few times that I have, because I avoid it whenever possible, unless there's like a really enticing opportunity, I avoid that shit because I hate it. That's not what I wanted to do when I started doing this. And I refuse to buy into the bullshit premise that because I do political work, that obligates me to engage in the maximum degree of personal inconvenience. There are plenty of other things I can do to feel like I'm making a difference. I stand by those, and I don't really care what people think. But the few times like I have traveled for work, you know, I'm not like I'm not sightseeing, right? Like, usually every time it's been like you fly over there and you have to leave like at a moderately either early or late depending on what the schedule of the event is. I would never fly out and do a debate like same day. And then you get there and then you sit in a hotel room, and I just quietly, in a dead empty room that I have no connection to, do emails and research until I fall asleep. Then I wake up the next morning, do emails and research until the debate, at which point I'm like, I'm probably still like nauseous from the flight, because I always get nauseous whenever I fly. I haven't had any good food because like I can never balance eating insubstantial snacks with eating like heavy, disgusting meals that make me feel like shit. I probably haven't drank enough water because, again, like travel literally does your ability to like do the body homeostasis maintenance stuff. And I'm particularly bad at it. I've tried to get better. It's not like I haven't flown before. And then I go over there and I have to go through like the whole hour to 2 hours of finding their military compound or whatever the pool is dealing with. Go over there, get vetted by 40 dudes who are obviously concealed carrying, and then sit in a room where like 6 people are all adjusting lights on me, and then everything goes live. And I could have been doing it from my computer, and then I do the debate or whatever. I don't have my chat, which I like. I like having a chat with me, by the way. You guys are cool. Thanks. I like having a second monitor that I can look at to like fact check people. Apparently, Tim Pool allows people to bring laptops to fact check when they're there. I didn't know that. I wasn't informed that. And also, that's not easy to do right then. It's easy to do if you're on your computer here because like right now, here, I'm going to look at something on my second monitor. I just did it. Wow, easy. But if you're doing that in person, you have to open a laptop, go, hold on a second. And look, it's like practically impossible to do. So it's basically just a vibes fest. And then I get to go home. I get to check my phone and see a bunch of people reacting to whatever conversation I had. I feel empty as I see this, by the way. You say I did good, you say I did bad. It doesn't matter to me. I'm in a hotel. I want to die. And then I have to sleep one more night there, uncomfortable, wake up with a headache, cram down some breakfast food, coffee, maybe if I can. And then I go to the airport where I get to do the whole rigmarole again. I go home, my sleep schedule set back for 4 days, and I feel like shit for a week. And all of that could have been a 2-hour Skype or Discord or whatever Zoom call. Of course it's frustrating. I feel like that should be intuitive to people listening to me describe the experience. Maybe if I was more physically acclimated to travel, like I was, better about it. But to here, I defer to autism. Maybe you just hadn't gone to somewhere that you like. I can understand it. No, I can't enjoy sightseeing if I'm like just sitting there waiting for bed. If the next day I have that, I'm not going to be able to enjoy going to a local museum or whatever. What sort of reward would be enticing enough for you to disregard your disdain for flying? Nothing. Not for work. Nothing. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy any of it. I hate it. I understand what you're talking about. How's chat not? Well, it probably is an autism thing. So like maybe autistic people are like, what is he complaining about, man? I get the seats are uncomfortable in a plane, but like you just get off the plane, you're fine. But like, yeah, I can't convey those experiences to people. So why does Tim care so much about the in-person thing? Everyone does now. Everyone does now. Because all of these dipshit, it's mostly cons. Because all these like grind hustle culture morons want to prove how uncucked but they are by COVID by bringing people into their like fancy ass gaudy studios so they can intimidate people with the ritz of their environment. When you're the one doing that podcast, you're on the home team. You're the one who who's in an environment they're comfortable with, which means that you're infinitely more likely to be comfortable than the person who's coming in there. Get a pilot's license. That's true. That's true. All right. That's enough. I've complained enough. I just don't like it. I don't like it. Vermin can confirm, by the way. Vermin doesn't need to confirm. You guys can confirm. After I've come back from travel, have I not obviously been in a shit mood? I stream less. I'm less enthusiastic when I stream. It's like, yeah, it happens in the lead up too because I don't like it. Yeah. It's not like a choice on my part. If I could choose to not feel miserable, then that I obviously would.